We are all wild creatures still at heart, and if we listen to our hearts, we will remember how to listen to the song of the fierce-beaked, wild-winged little wren, who hopping from tree to stump shows us the way home.
Basically, I made the partner there, or the duet partner, the snow, because I thought that would be interesting, because I didn't think I'd have many chances to do that again. So I just thought I would do stuff with the snow, playful stuff that we would normally do, like running about and like with my dog and throwing it and stuff like that. And then that kind of got me into it, and it got me more like, it's quite energetic, like jumping about, and kind of led into that.
This duet, I'm dancing it with the birch in a nearby forest I have here. There was this one birch only, and the birches are just, I love them because they're usually, Finnish people qualify them as the Finnish tree because there are so many birches in Finland. I felt like somehow I found comfort around it, and then realized that actually, because the sun was shining and I had really missed it, and it was warming even though the day was cold, but then it was warm in the sunshine.
So I was playing with shadow, so I was still dancing with myself but also kind of with the sun and the tree as well, and I was firstly tracing the branches, the shadows, either like drawing them or fitting my body to them. I had a moment where I was trying to see my fingers poke out the side of my body in the shadow, all around my body, and I'd have to twist to get the angle right.
My duet partner was the waves coming in, and sometimes the water sort of trickled in, and then other times it would fall and sort of crash. But the waves were very small, and then the water would pull back and the rocks would all move to then suddenly be dumped back again. So I was sort of doing that with my movement as well, suspending and then falling and crashing and moving in the same energy as the water. So whether it was falling or whether it was sinking in or just filling the gaps.
Just dancing for the sake of dancing with nature, not like worrying about what comes out of it, and also doing tasks that don't necessarily need to end up with movement, like they could be an installation and stuff. That was really nice. Felt like very well-rounded, like we did a lot of different things which all connected together. I don't know, I think I've realised that there's a lot more nature in London than I thought there was, because when I think of nature I think of Wales. I think of the sea and stuff, but I think I see a lot more details in nature now. Like I can observe it more and notice it more, rather than just like see green.
I was embodying a branch, and the first part was like its life on the tree, like being kind of not grounded at all, and like being under the control of the wind, and like not having its own will, or like not being just a young branch, and then it doesn't die because it still goes, like life still goes on, but it's much more grounded and I'd say experienced as a branch.
Well, it's a shell, it's like a shell of the life that was in it, so it doesn't have a voice. Maybe it echoes of a voice, but it's it's kind of like a home, and I found it up there, but I was moving it around because it's like a transportable home.
And I kind of thought like underneath trees are quite like safe spaces, so like I imagine that you could sleep in this tent and like be protected by the branches. And then
I am Elise and I am falling from my tree. From the outside to you, it must look like I am calm, like I have chosen to let go, that I am swirling patterns in the air slowly and gracefully, floating like a dancer. But do you know that dream? The one where you finally start to fall asleep and it feels like you're falling down a hole and you wake up so quickly that it feels as though you've just landed on your bed with a bounce. That's what it actually feels like. I've landed on something that looks like it should be hard to touch or that it will break like ice when I land on it. But it feels soft almost. It feels like I did just land on my bed, and it shivers slightly when I touch it. But that makes sense because it's quite cold right now. I look up and I see my tree and I'm sad that I no longer belong to it. But when I look around me, I see my tree's reflection and I realise that I am actually floating now.
I really do feel that this project started as something I was passionate about, but maybe I felt disconnected from nature, which is why I wanted to do it. And it started off like doing a task for the purpose of it being a task, but now it's become my second nature, and when I see an animal, I want to speak to it and I want to make it a story, and if I see grass moving in the wind, I want to dance how that grass is moving.
Max the squirrel was fast. He was so fast that when he ran, the only thing you could discern was stripes of grey and brown bouncing off branches and bushes. His hairy body was athletic, and his long tail, one of the fluffiest and most beautiful of all squirrel tails. Max the squirrel was admired by all creatures of his forest, and everyone respected the speedy gift of nature. And he remained modest even when birds, mice, and foxes stopped to greet him and congratulate him of his achievements.
She visited the tree often. She had done since she was young and relied on it as a place of solace when she felt happy, sad, or anything in between. It wasn't a particularly pretty tree. It didn't look very different to the rest of the trees in the wood. People walked past it all the time without a glance. But Branwen chose it as her place, and that made it special. When her mind was full and tangled, she would sit at the base of the tree and lean into it. She could fit quite nicely into the shape of the tree, as if it was moulded to support her body. As she rested her head against the trunk, her hair would fan out and spread across the bark. She would sink down and close her eyes as all the complicated thoughts melted into a silver light that travelled from her head, through her hair, and into the tree.
Just come and move the way you needed to and do what you needed, and it felt I don't know, refreshing, and you always felt like better afterwards. I think that I kind of feel like I want to go outside more, or like now that it's over, I think I said this the other day, that I want to try and I need a way to force myself to get outside, because I think it was really helpful to do it every week, and now, especially when I'm in London, I think I'm going to continue to do that.
We should be so connected that it doesn't feel weird dancing with a tree branch. It feels connecting and inspiring and fun and playful. So I'm glad my group have been so on board with this, and I know that they're enjoying the tasks, and I hope that it's opening their horizon a bit and opening their eyes and their minds and allowing them to explore more their land around them and themselves and how they feel and what they want out of a certain day or a certain activity.
Listening to birds, going on walks definitely, because I like the different smells, especially at home. And when I'm at home sitting by the sea, I can sit there for ages just watching it or listening to it. I guess it's just like noticing the senses and how, like, what you can notice with your senses. I think that's the main thing. But also I draw plants as well, because then I just get to stare at them for a long time and draw them, so it's nice.
Dear Mr. Mist, I hope this letter finds you well. Seeing you over those trees today, what a view! Spectacular. Not that I would expect any less from you, old friend. You never cease to surprise me. This time, though, I particularly appreciated the way you were able to float just above the leaf line and then subtly descend the surrounded trunks with a delicate gauze. I must thank you for this healing performance. How are you doing? I hear your prime working season is slowly coming to an end, and I always wonder whether you feel rather nostalgic or relieved. What are your plans during the break? I would love to hear whereabouts you will be heading. I very much enjoy listening to stories from your journeys and travels.
As we've been meeting every week, we walked to the place where we're going to have the session, and we would all chat with each other, and we'd split off into twos and have individual conversations. And I would just love it when we'd all laugh together and have moments, and when people would go off into those groups, because they were all connected like through me, the leader, but they've all made their own connections as well, and we would do partner tasks, and it's just been really nice seeing them get to know each other more, and we're really getting an insight of how the other people see the world.
Definitely. I didn't know anyone that well first.
Yeah.
So it's been really nice also to know people through that and not know them beforehand, and then kind of find out things about them through like how they see nature or how they see life or how they I don't know, I think we were a very like positive group, which has been awesome.